Yo, what's good? It's your boy Trey Little Go Crazy. I'm back with another video. Rapper, entrepreneur, vlogger, TikToker with over 1.2 million followers on TikTok. I just wanted to do this video real quick to basically talk about what happened with Brandon and his case. It's a big topic right now, and a lot of people are sharing their thoughts and opinions. I know Kim Kardashian and her family was pretty involved. Like, it's a pretty serious case, and what happened with a lot of the people involved. First, I just want to send my condolences to the family who lost their lives in the hands of Brandon. You know what I mean? It was such a tragic case. And just everything that happened with it real quick. Let me get set up. So, for those who don't know, the Kardashians and even like Trump was pretty involved in his case. Kim Kardashian specifically was trying to stop what happened with Brandon. And, my thoughts on it is what he did was pretty messed up. It was wrong. And number one, I don't believe in, sorry, I got a notification. I don't believe in anyone losing their lives, and I don't support that. I don't support no one losing their lives in the hands of criminals, or I don't support people losing their lives in the hands of a judge or custody. Like, now self-defense, that's a whole different situation. But, I do believe people should defend their families and defend their homes and stuff like that. But when you talk about taking the life of a person, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth kind of thing, I don't believe in. So he recently, I believe it was today, was executed in the hands of our system. And my thoughts on that is like, number one, I don't believe in it, but I believe in people serving time and justice being served. I believe in a life sentence in prison is enough of a punishment, because people have to live the rest of their life and think about the consequences of what they did. And I believe in looking at this case, I believe he, from what he said, was pretty apologetic and really was sorry for what he did. That's what he said. I mean, we don't know for sure. But at the same time, I know with prison reform and the way prisons are set up, a lot of times people really aren't reformed, or, the prison program is so bad right now that when people go to jail, like, a lot of times they don't get out and become law-abiding citizens. The way prison is set up is for them to get out and become criminals again, if they even get out. So I think there's a lot of stuff wrong with our prison system, and I believe that, it should be reformed to where people can actually go and be rejuvenated. Not for the people who commit crimes of taking someone's life. I mean, they should sit the rest of their life in prison. I don't believe they should get out. But my thoughts on that is that, when he committed the crime, he took the life of a minister and his wife, and there was a lot more details I'm not going to go into because I don't want to get demonetized, but he took their lives when he was 18, right? So he, it's been like, I mean, what, over 10 years, 20 years or something like that? And they just decided to go through with his execution. So my thing is, I don't believe in, the penalties and all that they give, but if they were going to do it, I feel like it would have been, more effective to do that when he first committed the crime and when he was younger, to where when he didn't really feel much more remorse for what he did and when he was younger. That's if they were going to do it. But I think it's kind of like barbaric to wait this long if they were going to do it, because it's like, it's almost like mental torture. You're waiting this long and then you find out that you're going to be, you're going to have your life taken away, So I feel like if they were going to do it, having them like do it when he first committed the crime, you know what I mean? So that's one thought. And it's just tough because it's like you had all these people signing petitions thinking that they were going to do it. But like I said, I want to know how they choose on who they're going to give this penalty to. When I read, this is like one of the first in a while that they've done. When you talk, like I said, I'm trying to be careful with my words because I don't want to get, YouTube be tripping and all that. Like, they just block videos and all that. So my thing is, how do they pick and choose? because there are a lot of criminals in jail right now. So how do they pick and choose which ones get that penalty and which ones don't? When you look at a lot of the people who commit, the mass crimes and stuff like that, are they going to be subject to these penalties as well? I know it depends on the state. I know Brandon committed the crime in Texas. Like I said, I don't know every single thing about this case and every specific detail, but this is me just sharing like my thoughts on, like, I do believe in justice. I do believe in reform. I do believe in that criminals should be held accountable for their decisions. I just believe that there are certain things that shouldn't be done. There are different ways to handle it. Like I said, I lost a lot of people due to gun violence in my own personal life, and I would want some of it, justice hasn't been served. And I would want justice to be served by having a person sit in jail and to think about what they did. You know what I mean? So I know for the people who took my dad's life, dad and stepdad, I know justice wasn't served. But at the same time, like, I know for me personally, justice would be having that person sit and deal with the consequences of what they did. Because once you in somebody's life, it's over with. For the dude Brandon, like, it's over with for him. You know what I mean? Like, there's, he's not thinking about that consequence anymore. You know what I mean? So, and that's a whole nother subject when we talking about afterlife and all that. But what happened now is that it's over with. He's no longer thinking about that consequence, depending on what where your views are with that. So the justice system is really messed up, for people to, I know a lot of people who went to jail, a lot of people who got out, became better people who learned education. But I also know people, when they went, they got stamped with that mark of a prisoner and they never could shake it. You know what I mean? So I feel like we should have a better system. And also, we have to figure out how we're going to deal with our criminals in society. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a big issue. There's such a large amount of crime that goes on. So how are we going to deal with that? And when people get out, you know what I mean? Are we going to not get them jobs? Are we going to give them jobs? If not, they're going to roam around and keep doing the same thing as society. Are we going to create programs for them, create their own village to where they can be and, have their own area to be in, to where they can't be around anyone, like, so, yeah, but I think someone going to prison and sitting there for the rest of their life, if they commit a crime like that, is a punishment in itself for people to think about it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't wish the loss of a life on anyone. It's tough. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, rest in peace to the people that, this happened a while ago when he was 18, but, even like I said, my condolences to his family and all that, because that's tragic, especially when you think about what my man's did. Like, it's such a tragic situation. So, let me know y'all thoughts below if y'all know about this case. And let's try to be respectful, y'all. No arguments, but let's just really try to have a conversation, a civil conversation that's not too involved in, like, emotions and blaming and arguing and attacking people. But let's have a real conversation on, what should we do about our prisoners and who deserves to get it and what crime and all that, and who deserves not to get it and to sit in prison and live with that. So one of the biggest things that I would love to do in my life is look more into, like, prison reform, on how the people who commit smaller crimes, like, like theft or something like that, how do you take a person like that and how do you help them find rejuvenation to where they can come back in society? Because, prisons are overpopulated. There's a lot of private prisons, wealthy people making money from private prisons, so how do we solve this issue in our society and also make sure we protect our families, protect ourselves from people getting out and doing the same thing? Because people go back to their same environment and they go back to poverty, then they're going to keep doing the same thing over and over. So, man, like, our world, man, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of burdens. And at the end of the day, man, we got to make sure, I don't know if y'all believe in God, but we got to make sure we praying just for peace and for unity in our country, man. Because, like, and just for structure and just for, like, man, like, people to intervene, leaders who can help really just impact the darkness in our country, man, because we need as much light as we can. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough. There's a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of people with mental illnesses. There's a lot of people who are just like evil and wicked. You know what I mean? Like, how do we deal with those people? There are some people who make terrible decisions in their youth and some people who will want to change. How do we give those people a chance? So I think the way to start doing that is having these conversations. And for the people that we know who are mentally ill, or the people we know who are just rough people, like, we got to make sure we're engaging those people and getting into it, and even speaking out. When we see something, say something. If you at school and you see somebody that has these different hates building up in their heart, you got to say something. You got to step in. Don't get out the way. Don't record. Don't try to gossip and spread rumors and be cool. Like, we got to start speaking up. We got to start telling the principal. We got to start, like, if we see somebody that's really going to cause an issue. And finally, when you are that kind of person that's following a crowd and following a gang, man, that is dumb, and that's going to end up getting you in a lot of trouble. We got to learn how to think individually and not try to do stuff to fit in and do things in packs and be accepted by a gang. Like, we got to start thinking for ourselves and being cool with being by ourselves if that's what it takes. So that's my thoughts on that, man. This is a tough situation, man, and I know a lot of people lost family members with these situations, but I know even with Brandon, his family have to deal with the consequences of losing their dad because of his decision. So now his kids got to grow up and, like, they ain't had nothing to do with that, but they got to suffer for the actions that he took. So anyways, y'all, I hope y'all having a good day out there and staying strong. Peace. Much love. Love y'all.